Hello Internet, Rob from A Minor Error, and with a PSA, you should not buy a Canon M50 camera in 2024. Let's go. So no, I am not a camera or tech YouTuber. I'm a guitar player and music channel. But I do have about 5 years experience with the M50 and have gotten an R50, and because of the way Canon has changed some things, I want to make sure you don't make the same mistakes I do with your camera equipment. Now this video is from the perspective of a musician or someone that really only takes video. I don't take very many stills. So with that all out of the way, let's get into point number one. Now, as tempting as those prices may look for the Canon M50 on the used market, you should not buy one because Canon has discontinued the lens mount that these cameras use, which is the EF-M lens mount. Now this totally sucks for somebody like me who has had an M50 for 5 or 6 years. I have invested in a Sigma lens, and it sucks to not be able to take my investment from this lens, which is an incredible lens, and pop it right onto my new R50. And the R50 is just the successor to the M50. So that's the big reason, right? This mount is now discontinued, and those lenses are going to be stuck on this platform. You cannot pop them onto other Canon cameras. It was just for EF-M, and now the EF-M is gone. This has been very disappointing, as I took Siggy's advice from Tech Gear Talk and decided to go with Canon. And being as I never had a legit camera before, I sort of bought into their ecosystem when I bought my first M50 and decided to basically commit to Canon and learn my way around their cameras. All of the advice online had said how much the menu system and the layout is good for beginners on Canon cameras, and I definitely agree because I'm very much a beginner, and I'm probably more beginner / intermediate at this stage as far as my actual ability with the camera. The colors that come out of the Canon cameras, especially paired with this Sigma glass, is really, really good. My approach has been basically just to try to not mess up what the camera is already doing, and I think I've had varying degrees of success. You can obviously watch the video quality right now and let me know what you think. This is 4K shooting on the new R50. I have a video to go along with this one as well because I have not been happy with my R50. So to say the least, this has been a rocky, bumpy start to getting in and using Canon cameras. I kind of wish I had actually decided to go with Sony. So if you're new to photography, you're planning on doing a lot of video, definitely don't buy the M50, and you might want to consider what Sony has to offer, honestly, even if the menu system isn't as easy to use as the Canon one. So that is not good. The mount has been dropped. Let's move on to problem number 2, which is way worse than the mount being dropped. Let's go. So in my time using the M50, I had taken Siggy from Tech Gear Talk's advice and had been shooting basically everything in 1080, and the autofocus in 1080 mode is absolutely fantastic. Then I decided it was time to kick my productions up a notch and start to shoot in 4K. And at first, actually, everything went really well. I was shooting a series of guitar playthroughs, and surprisingly enough, when it comes to guitar playthroughs, the auto tracking in 4K is actually pretty usable and hasn't wrecked any of my footage or any of my takes yet, which made me think that, yeah, the M50 is great at 4K, so I went out and I bought a second camera, and that's where I made the unfortunate discovery that losing dual pixel autofocus and trying to shoot talking head, it's completely unusable. No matter what I tried to do, the camera will not stay focused on my face. So it is completely unusable for shooting anything where you're gonna see somebody's face in 4K mode, basically. So again, if you're planning on using this camera for video, and again, that's everything that I'm getting at right now, is that using this camera in 4K mode, it is unusable for shooting talking head. It definitely sucked. I had to learn that the hard way after I had bought my second one. I got a really good deal on eBay for a body only, and I just used the kit lens that came with my first one. The kit lens that came with the M50 is surprisingly usable, and I found you can get really nice footage out of this kit lens. Obviously the Sigma is much better. It does the whole bokeh thing and all that kind of fun blurry background stuff. But the kit lens is still pretty good that comes with it. So that was why it seemed to make sense, and I'm actually keeping my M50s and using them for at least the next couple years for my playthroughs, because fortunately they are at least serviceable for that. But again, if you're doing talking head, the 4K is completely unusable. So if you're new to this whole YouTube thing and you're looking to start a channel, honestly, just shoot with your iPhone in 4K. You're gonna get quicker, easier, better results that way. Save up, skip on the M50, and either get something from Sony or Fujifilm or even Canon, but make sure it's got dual pixel autofocus enabled and possible to use in 4K. This camera, the M50, doesn't, and it's unusable. So that's my quick and dirty PSA. Do not buy the Canon M50. They've discontinued the lens mount. The dual pixel autofocus doesn't work in 4K mode, which makes it unusable in a talking head scenario. Add to that, the battery life is pretty shitty too. Definitely don't be tempted by the prices on these on the used market. Not to mention, if you are like me and you had invested in something like the Sigma glass, now my lens is gonna just fall off a cliff in value if I go to try to sell it secondhand, because the damn lens doesn't work with any of the new cameras. So do not buy this camera. Definitely look elsewhere. Thank you for watching.